Hello friends, welcome to Finance MCQ. I am CA Pritam Sangwan and today we will continue our discussion on cash flow statement, which is a part of commerce and accountancy subject of paper 2, which is a technical syllabus of your SEBI exam journal stream. Friends, this technical syllabus is of 100 marks in phase 1 and it has 2/3 weightage in phase 2 of your SEBI grade A exam. And friends, you can find entire technical syllabus of SEBI grade A exam chapter wise, topic wise on Finance MCQ website in MCQ question format. You can visit the website and practice entire technical syllabus there. I have put the website link in the description box below. So let's begin. Friends, let's start our discussion with discussing first about format of cash flow statement. Though it won't be asked in an exam, but just for the understanding purpose, let's discuss that also. So it looks somewhat like this. Cash flow statement is prepared for the period. It is not as on the date. It is prepared for the period, that is from April to March or any other period which company is preparing its financial statements. So along with that, cash flow is prepared. So I have just mentioned the main heads under which it is prepared. So first one is cash flow from operating activity. We will calculate that. Then we will calculate cash flow from investing activity, then cash flow from financing activity, and we'll do total of all these three, and whatever the we'll calculate increase or decrease in cash and cash equivalent, and then we will add up cash and cash equivalent at the beginning of the period. So whatever the cash and cash equivalent we will have at the beginning, that will be added to that, and the total of these two will be come up cash and cash equivalent at the end of the period. So this has to be matched with your cash and cash equivalent whatever will be at the end of your period. So this is the entire format of cash flow statement. So I hope it is clear. Now let's move and discuss the next point. Now friends, let's talk about ascertainment of cash flow statement from operating activity. So friends, as per AS3, an enterprise should disclose cash flow from operating activity using either direct method, under which major classes of gross cash receipts and gross cash payments are disclosed, or by using indirect method, under which net profit of the enterprise is adjusted to arrive at the cash flow from operating activity. And friend, this indirect method is widely used by all enterprise for calculating cash flow from operating activity. So we'll put our little bit more focus on this indirect method only, and now we will discuss what are the adjustments done to arrive at the cash flow from operating activity under indirect method. Friends, to identify cash flow from operating activity indirect method, net profit or loss will be adjusted with a non-cash transactions. Friends, these transactions are recorded in profit and loss account, but they are not actually cash transaction. For example, depreciation or bad debt written off, etc. And since they are not a cash transaction, they will not form part of cash flow statement and adjustment is carried out. So I hope you understand this. Then any deferral or accrual of past or future operating cash receipt will also be adjusted. Friends, these transactions are recorded in books pertaining to future or past cash receipts, and net profit is to be adjusted accordingly. And then we have item of income or expenses of investment or finance activity. Friends, for example, interest payment, it is related to finance activity. Hence, it will be deducted from net profit adjustment and will be added in the finance activity. So friends, these three items were the adjustment to be made under indirect method for ascertaining cash flow from operating activity. So I hope all these 3 points are clear to you all. So now let's move to the next point. Friends, now let us discuss some of the important points in our cash flow statement which will be useful for your exam point of view. First one is proposed dividend. Friends, proposed dividend until approved by the shareholder will be a contingent liability and shown in the notes to accounts. And last year proposed dividend is approved in the current financial year and paid in the current year. In this scenario, what will happen in our cash flow statement? Proposed dividend will be added back in the operating activity and dividend actually paid will be deducted from the finance activity. So here remember, proposed dividend in operating activity, it will be added back. Why? Because it pertains to a finance activity, and in finance activity whatever will be the actual dividend paid will be subtracted. So I hope proposed dividend is clear. Then we have extraordinary items. Friends, these are not routine or regular in nature. For example, loss due to fire or earthquake or floods, etc. These are non-recurring in nature. Hence, cash flow associated with them should be disclosed separately so that it will enable user to understand their nature and effect on present as well as future cash flow of the enterprise. So they need to be disclosed separately. Then we have interest and dividend. Friends, for a financial enterprise whose main business is lending and borrowing, interest payment, interest received, dividend received, etc. will be classified as operating activity because it's their operation to lend and borrow money. So whatever the interest and dividend they will earn from them, it will form part of their operations. And for non-financial enterprise, interest and dividend received will be classified as investment activity because they have made an investment and on that they have received interest and dividend. And when they make payment of interest and dividend, it will form part of their finance activity because they will make interest payment only on the finance that they have taken. So it will form part of their financing activity. Very important from your exam point of view. So do remember, interest received, dividend received will form part of investment activity, and interest paid and dividend paid will form part of finance activity. And last one is taxes on income and gains. Friends, under this, do remember that taxes on operating profit will be classified under operating activity, and dividend tax that we pay on the payment of dividend, that will be come under finance activity. And the third one, the capital gain tax that we have to pay on sale of fixed assets, will form part of investment activity. So if taxes on operating income, it will come under operating activity. If taxes on sale of fixed assets or on our investments, it will come part under investment activity. And if there is any tax which is pertaining to a finance activity item, then it will appear under finance activity. So do remember these points. I hope all these points are clear to you. Now let's move on to our next point. Now friends, let us discuss some of the examples under various activity which will come in cash flow statement. Now first is operating activity. In that we will have cash sales, it will definitely come under operating activity. Then payment to suppliers, that is we make a payment to creditors and all, that is also form part of your operating activity. Then collections from debtors, whatever the money we have received from debtors is also part of your operating activity. Then administrative and selling and distribution expenses, whatever the expenses we are incurring for the business will form for the running the business or operations, will form part of your operating activity only. And then payment of income tax and refunds will also form part of your operating activity. Here only the income tax paid on operating profit will come under. If any other tax, that will go to the respective activity. So these are the major pointers under which cash flow is generated from operating activity. So I hope it is clear. Now let's move on to our next point. Now we will discuss examples under investing activity. Here the first one is purchase of fixed assets. If we do any purchase of fixed assets, it will form part of investment activity. Then if we do any sale of fixed assets, that will also come under investment activity. Then interest received, we have already discussed, if interest is received by non-financial enterprise, it will form part of investment activity. And same way, dividend received, part of investment activity. Then purchase of long-term investments, if there is a long-term investment is purchased, then it is a part of your investment activity. And last one, sale of long-term investments. So if we making any purchase and sale of investment, they will be part of investment activity. So these are the major and broad heads under investment activity. So I hope it is clear. Now let's move on to our third activity and discuss examples of it. Now in finance activity, we will have proceeds from issue of shares. So if we have made any issue of shares, equity shares or preference shares, and we have received money, it will come under finance activity. And dividend payment, if you have made any payment to dividend to our equity shareholders or preference shareholders, it will form part of finance activity. Then proceeds from borrowings, that if a company has taken a loan from a company or from a bank, from borrowings from debentures, bonds holders, etc., so it will come under finance activity. And interest on borrowings, if we have paid interest on that borrowing, will also come under finance activity. So interest payment and dividend payment, part of finance activity, whereas interest received and dividend received, investment activity. And then repayment of borrowings, so same way, if we have taken loan and we are repaying loan, it will form part of our finance activity. So I hope these examples are clear to all of you. So now let's move further. Friends, in cash flow statement, we have discussed what is cash flow statement, what is cash and cash equivalents. Then we'll discuss about various activities of cash flow statements, that is operating, investing and finance. And then we'll discuss about examples of various activities, that is with respect to your operating, investment and finance. We also discussed about direct and indirect method under operating activity. So friends, I tried to cover all the important points from cash flow statement which are relevant for your SEBI Grade A exam paper 2, which is a part of your technical syllabus. Friends, for more practice of this topic in MCQ format, I request you to please visit Finance MCQ website. It has entire SEBI Grade A technical syllabus, which is paper 2 of general stream in MCQ format. It has 2000 plus subject wise, topic wise MCQ questions to practice. We have added explanations for correct answers wherever required. It also has 25 test series for your technical syllabus to practice. So friends, there is lot of study materials to practice on Finance MCQ. Do visit the website for more practice and increase your selection chances. Friends, website link is in the description box below. I will come up with new video. Till then, take care and thank you so much for watching.